Commentary. Coup Detat Council blaze out. The Coalport Borough Coup Detat Council Meeting of December 6th, 2021 was a blaze out into unprofessionalism with one in tears. The Coup Detat Council failed in many ways. No solicitor, no committees. Head M stripped each councillor from having the power of a chairmanship for a committee pursuant to the PA Title 8. No auditor. Head M had exclusive power in violation of the Borough Code, PA Title 8. No financial reports. No agency's open records officer. No resolution for the 2022 budget. No resolution for the fixed tax rate for 2022. No resolution for a president. No response to right-to-know law requests. No AORO for appeal number 2021-2489 in Harrisburg. No right for public comment in public meetings in agendas. No overture of a transition team for the newly elected councillors. No proof that the Coup d'etat council did any work. Hearsay evidence that the Coup d'etat council did something without any right to review evidence. Your video reporter files an objection. At the December 6th Coup d'etat council meeting, prior to the start of the meeting, a contract was signed by Head M without vote of council or a lawful review by a borough solicitor, who is lawfully responsible for all legal matters. According to the statements made by the Head M, Coalport Borough taxpayers are going to be paying heat, water, sewage, all utilities for the agency moving into the borough building. For the next 2 to 3 years, the agency will not be paying any rent, but Coalport Borough taxpayers will be paying all utilities. The agency will have exclusive right of usage of the formerly known room in the borough building known as the community room. According to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Borough Code, PA Title 8, 1116, solicitor to have control of legal matters. The legal matters of the borough shall be under the control of the borough solicitor. No department or officer of the borough, except as otherwise provided by law, shall employ an additional counsel without the assent or ratification of the council. The borough solicitor must be licensed to practice law in this Commonwealth and may be one person or a law firm, partnership, association, or professional corporation. The borough solicitor serves at pleasure of counsel. In the absence of the solicitor, the law firm of which the solicitor is a member or associate may perform any of the duties or functions of the solicitor. Understand this fact. The Coup d'etat council did not have a solicitor. The contract made with an agency was not reviewed or advised by a borough solicitor. For the protection of the borough taxpayers and citizens, the Coup d'etat council did not present the agency contract to a solicitor. The agency is getting free electricity, sewage, and other utilities at no cost for 2 to 3 years and beyond. Free. No, Coalport Borough taxpayers are paying the bill. What would the solicitor state after reviewing the contract that the Coup Detat Council approved. We will never know. We were denied protection. Would you take repairs in lieu of a rent and pay all the utilities if you had rental property? There may never be an end of repairs, but the payment of all utilities will continue to be paid by the Coalport Borough taxpayers. The Coup Detat Council blazed out the year by dumping a disaster upon two newly elected officers in the January 3rd, 2022 organizational meeting. A new council is faced with digging out without many borough code key personnel as a need for an independent auditor to meet with on the first Tuesday of January by law. Borough Code 1041, auditors to meet yearly and audit accounts. Section A of 1041, first meeting. The auditors of the borough shall meet on the first Tuesday of January. Coalport Borough does not have an auditor, and according to the head M, you will hear in the video, all auditors are to meet the first Tuesday in January. The Coup Detat Council blaze out by handing over no solicitor, no auditor, no financial reports for 6 months, no AORO, no resolutions, no evidence. Coup Detat Council did anything, just hearsay. For Coup Detat Council, they needed a scapegoat for their negligence and sins. Seems unprofessional for anyone to need a scapegoat when accountability is denied. In December 6th, 2021, the Reverend Gerald W. Spade Sr. was the scapegoat, according to the head M, because Reverend Spade was asking for accountability. The Coup Detat Council violated many laws and denied the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Borough Code. That was part of the oath of office all councilors held up their hand to uphold. Reverend Gerald W. Spade Sr. is a taxpayer of the electorate and a boss of the Coup Detat Council. Does a taxpayer and the electorate have the right to ask accountability questions and see evidence? The head M made many assertions and allegations without any foundation. The organization meeting of the newly elected borough officials has the opportunity to correct the borough pursuant to the Borough Code of Pennsylvania, Title 8. Old Coup Guard is gone, and the new guard needs a vision. They have the right to reopen the budget for 2022. There is hope for the future. Commentary by Vision Press Production. Thank you.
Before you pick up the phone and say, hey, I need this done.
Yeah.
You know, and everything was taken care of. That's why I don't like this technology. I mean, it took me a long time to get from a flip phone to a regular phone, one of these cell phones. And I still don't know how to use. I still don't know how to text somebody. It's just, I don't know. It's me. I know that.
You know, right now, my granddaughter.
It's our
Like
generation.
3 years old, and she's already doing stuff.
Oh yeah.
I'm like,
It's our generation that some of us are reluctant to get into this technology
you
stuff.
know, it came after we got out of school.
Yeah. Well, when I went to college, my computer classes was index flip cards. You know, that's how you do a lot of that stuff. Luckily, I knew how to type. I mean, that was one big thing that did help me.
The most advanced thing we had, kind of, at my time, was a electric typewriter.
Yeah.
And a microfiche, remember that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They still had the typewriters when I was in school.
Did they?
Yeah, right before they switched over to the computer.
Yeah.
Still had typing class.
I wish I would have had a computer when I was in college and graduate school.
Well, they didn't have them then, Jerry.
No, they didn't. I had a little portable Olympia typewriter.
Yeah.
And I made 25 cents a sheet typing term papers for other people.
Yeah.
That's
When I went to Slippery Rock in the 90s, I had a word processor.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what I did my
Yeah, well,
paperwork and all that good stuff on.
Did you just
When I went to Penn State, I had a slide rule.
Yep.
You know, for that.
Yep.
Andy, how you doing? All right, mate. Still got some of that good stuff up there?
Oh, yeah.
What's that stuff?
Huh?
I like the ash that comes off of that.
Yeah. Did you get the letter or wrong one?
I like that.
That stuff's pretty hot.
Yeah, it is, but it's good. I've used to vendors for so many years, now they've got that stuff learned how to have. It's really good.
I think it's pretty expensive, but you don't have to fight it.
Is that Julie?
That's me.
Didn't recognize you.
I know.
Hello, Pam.
Hi.
Andy, I haven't met you yet. I'm Paul.
Oh, we met one time down behind Gary's.
On the
For a
store.
minute. All right.
Yeah, congratulations.
How you doing?
Are you?
I'll just sign that right now.
Yeah, I have two copies, and what we'll do is just, Kathy is the signer, so it's, and I'll send one back to you guys.
Got your message. Good luck. I'll help you tomorrow. It was her last name's Kusi. It's Janie.
Yeah, I talked to her for quite a while, yeah.
Probably, yeah.
She got to a point where she couldn't help me. I have to find a password to get in on it.
By the time I got your message, it was late in the day and I couldn't get to the other people. But I did find something else out there.
I'm just going to give these back to you. Give them to Mary Sue, because this will be mine. So you
I just need you to sign these as the second, and then I'll take them both back, and then I'll send one to you, okay? It's my food
And
last
you
week.
want it in the minutes, so you can start
Yes, we need to have it in the minutes
right
that
away.
we can start right away.
Yeah, so for some reason, did you catch that? I want to put in the minutes that they can commence renovating right away. So if I
All
forget to
right, we
say
got it
that.
done. I did the best I could while.
That clock's wrong.
We got to get
2 minutes, 2 minutes. Good. Yeah, we don't have everybody.
I usually have two
No?
timers in each section. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9.
You were elected, aren't you taking?
No.
Switch over.
Yeah,
No, I took it
but
just in case
nobody
they
told me to
didn't.
have 2
I'll
times.
take it when we sign, just
So
enough.
I did the best I
Point
could.
Sean and one on.
And when I
Yeah, I
first
take it
started,
you're not
I
going to
was
take it
over
because
there,
you couldn't
and I
possibly
realized
perform.
That it's unlawful.
I know it is, but you'll be aware of that when you got your name on it.
So that's separated.
I did, in case somebody did a write-in for the tax collector,
Okay, so
then I would have been councilman, but I can't take,
No,
I had to take one of them. So
Which one are you taking, Jerry?
I told the election board I would take the tax collector.
I think that would be better for you. You get a little bit of income.
Yeah, it pays my taxes.
Did you get your paperwork yet?
Excuse me?
Did you get the paperwork yet?
Anybody that was on the ballot has not. Andy got his paperwork. And we won't get ours probably until 2 weeks before. And, but if I might plead just that, could your council establish that the third is the organizational meeting? Because your council can do that, and then that would keep us from the council that's coming, which you were elected to be on it.
I won't be there. I don't quite know what you mean. We'll just have the regular organizational
Well-
meeting on the date that it's scheduled.
Yeah, but you have to advertise it, because it's not advertised.
Well, she'll
I'll get it
advertise that.
advertised. I got
Okay,
lots of time.
okay. Yeah, but I mean, is there gonna be a motion of this council?
I don't see why it would, no. I don't understand, I guess. We will have the organizational meeting when it's scheduled by the code, which is the first Monday in January, unless it's a holiday or something.
But last year they didn't have.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that, I wasn't on here, but she will advertise it.
But if you would make the motion that the organizational meeting is that first Monday in January.
I think it just is, I don't think I didn't say anything, I didn't put it on the agenda.
But it's required to be advertised.
Right, she'll do that. Or you will. I don't- Kevin told me he was gonna make it. I don't think that thing's correct.
I'll let you know what time it is. 7:01, Paul.
7:01.
That's 4 minutes late.
Yes.
Better than 13 minutes
Yeah,
early.
I mean,
What if they have any
yeah.
questions, they can call Kat.
Yeah, I talked to Kevin today, and he said he would show up. I didn't, and these two are usually pretty reliable. Are you calling one of them?
LaDawn. Okay. Okay. That's okay. Bye.
She on her way?
She just got home. She's on her way.
Okay, she'll wait then. Sure, we'll commence a little bit late.
Paul, can I just speak for when I need to be here, and then that way I can get out of your hair?
Yes,
I would say it, but
you're not saying it. Go right ahead.
the foreign fire insurance money, Mary Sue Mee's been working on it, but that check needs to be cut out of the account.
That was already to be cut.
Okay, I have not
You said
received
that,
it
and
yet.
No, the payment. He's not talking.
This is the
The one
check,
that
Jerry,
goes-
or Paul, that gets from the Auditor General's office. You guys should have
It
received
comes
it.
to us, right, we got that,
And
I'm
pass-
aware of that.
and then
You-
pass it
That was
through.
to have happened already.
That's what's happening. I can't get into the paperwork because of the
You can
time.
issue the check.
You should have paid that check a long time ago.
Because what's going to happen is when we get audited, if we're going to get audited, the relief gets audited within about every 3 years. If those monies aren't put into the account,
Right, I got your problem.
you know, and it's 60 days. Now, the other issue you had one of the prior council, or secretaries, treasurer, whatever you want to call it. Remember, we said it was the year 2018?
It's 17.
It's 17. I found a copy of the 17 check.
Right, but in 2018, I had them, I repaired that.
I thought
I have
you did.
no idea what's going on
Yeah,
there.
well, this is a copy of the
I
check.
know, I
That
know.
way you can get the information off
The
of it.
woman from the Auditor's General Office, I think her name
Jane.
is it Jane?
Janie,
Janie, okay, she called, we did this on the very last day that you could possibly do it, before March. Even though I would show
okay,
Angel
yeah,
or
the
on your-
one in March is where you apply for it. Then you get
Yes.
then there's another form that you have to submit back in after you issue the check.
Well, there's a deadline on it. We came right to the deadline on that.
In April.
I had to come down here
Yeah.
physically and make sure, stand over them and
Yeah.
make sure they sent that in.
Was that
Then I-
2018 or 17?
That was 18, but at the same time, I thought we repaired that.
Yeah,
Because-
I thought it was taken care of
Because you don't
too.
get the money if you don't fill this stuff
And,
out.
and you got the money and everything is
Yeah,
good.
so that's why
It's-
I'm saying
this-
this is moot in my
Well,
mind.
no, well, this is to report that the check was submitted to the relief. That's a separate form.
Okay, you're talking about something else, all right.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, it's a separate form that's submitted in. And somehow in the year 17, it wasn't submitted in.
That wouldn't surprise me because it wouldn't
Oh,
have been in 18.
no,
And she called me
Yeah.
at home at
Yeah.
the last minute,
Yeah,
you know.
but do you want this copy of that check? That way you'll
That
have,
should have been out. We
Yeah.
had the check. You should have received
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I thought that was out a long time ago. We've been over this.
I'm just trying,
Yes.
I'm trying to circumvent.
Right, I
A
understand.
finding,
Right.
because they're gonna, and the finding's gonna be issued to the relief.
I've
But
talked
it'll
to them
say- yeah.
several times, they know what's going on, I told
Yeah.
them I wasn't in for almost 15 days, I had COVID,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's run a little
yeah.
bit late.
I'll call you tomorrow, all right, but that's, I just wanted to make sure the check needs to get cut so I can get it deposited. That's-
Well, and then there was a
Do it now?
problem with the census.
Well, can you?
That has nothing to do
Well,
with it.
hold on. Can you get the check right this minute? And-
Oh, she's busy.
No, I'm not.
You guys are busy. Do
All
it.
right, you're gonna come up and you're gonna follow up?
Yeah, I'll follow up with Mary Sue
All
tomorrow.
right.
That's all I needed. Thank you very much. Have a nice holiday.
Same. All right. Shall we come to order? Good seeing you. It's all right. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You all had a chance to read the minutes, I take it? So can we approve the minutes from the November 15th meeting? Did you guys have a chance to read that?
Trying to get a breath.
What's that?
They're trying to get a breath.
Okay,
I know,
sorry.
I'm sorry, it's,
That's all right.
with the holiday, it's bad.
Court. You're the traffic.
It's just getting out.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from the November 15th meeting.
Any second?
I second it for the pen, please. The pen.
Oh, sorry. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and we can move on. We need a motion to adopt a $110,600 budget for 2022. The millage will stay the same at 28 mills, and everything else per capita, all those mills, nothing is going to change there. So I need a motion to accept the budget for 2022.
Make a motion to accept the budget for 2022.
Objection?
To what?
It has to be done by resolution, and
It has to.
or it would have had been done if you changed something.
It has to be done by an ordinance, and it will be done by an ordinance.
No, a resolution.
It's an ordinance. It's always been an ordinance, and we will do
They
it by an ordinance.
changed the law in that you can do a resolution.
Well, we'll do an ordinance. We've always done it that way, and we'll stick with an ordinance. And to my knowledge, it doesn't go into the book of codified ordinances. It actually follows in a different book, and that'll be done tomorrow. Do that real quickly. All right, did I get everything I needed there? No, he objected. So I need a motion.
Second.
Second.
Who said the first one?
I raise it first.
Sean said the first one. You seconded?
Yeah.
All in favor? Aye. Okay. All right, then we're down to, we're going to enter into a lease with the Area Agency on Aging. And that would be, the senior center would be down here, and the rent will be $350 a month. And then that will start right away, December here. And what they're going to do is they're going to do some renovations, and those renovations will be deducted from the rent. And that will be up to a maximum of $6,000 of renovations. And within that $350, that will include water, light, sewage, and garbage. And we view this as a community service. It's a good deal. It'll improve the structure here because they'll do some renovations. All of you guys know about it. Anybody have any questions about that or more information that you guys want to pass on?
The senior center used to be here.
Yes, started
So,
out here.
It started out here, so we're very excited to enter into a lease with the Coalport
Yeah, we're
Borough.
pleased to have you. We think it's a good
And we're
thing.
very excited. Pam, as our center manager, is very excited to share that with our consumers. And I think they'll have a great, great time. There's lots of things, when I was here looking at it, for them to take part in.
Yeah, lots of
And
potential, right?
collaboration. So thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. You pretty much know what you want to do, right? Your
And the renovations? Oh, yes. Yep,
Okay.
yep.
So anyway, anybody have any problems with that? Need any more information on that?
Question?
Go ahead.
Well, other organizations that were using this was going
Well,
to be
once you
exclusive?
rent it to them, it's
It's
theirs.
exclusive,
It's
okay.
theirs. However, you guys kind of indicated,
Right, if Pam, we run from 8:30 to 1:30, so if Pam feels that, like if the Girl Scouts or whoever else used it in the evenings, they're more than, Pam will make that decision as the
But we
center
won't be
manager.
renting it out. We're just.
No, we're not gonna
Yeah.
rent it out, they can use it.
Yeah.
Yep.
and there's something else. There's another advantage, which is a big advantage. Government loves the elderly. So you all are eligible for grants, which could help out. This place is in bad shape.
Yes,
So
every
you'd
year
be a
we
good
can
tenant.
apply for senior center grants. So that's pretty much how we're going to do the reno for the community center, and it happens every year. Through COVID, they gave us so much, but every center, every year can apply for a senior center grant. And usually it's throughout the state. There's $2 million available for the senior centers. There's a lot in the state of Pennsylvania, but Clearfield County has been very fortunate to get monies most every year. So,
Thank you for your response.
Just make sure, Paul, that in that,
Oh.
say, that in the motion, they can start right away.
Yes, they can do renovations.
After midnight.
There's one thing, is your senior center is well used and has been growing in the last couple of years. Recently, 2 months before we went into COVID, I served 250 meals a month. 240 one month and 250. Since we've come back, we haven't got built back up, but there's a lot of the elderly love to come to the center, and we do a lot of things with them and keep them very active. So I think it'll be a good thing for the community and for the borough building.
We're positive on it anyway.
oh,
Kevin's not here. We have nobody that was opposed to what's going to happen. We're real pleased, in fact.
we're very, Coalport happens to be probably our, the growth in our Coalport Center is probably we have the largest senior center population in Coalport. So
That's good to hear.
that's a true testament to Pam's
You
leadership.
don't know what good things can happen till you have the little school down there.
Oh,
Who knows?
absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, we're very, very thrilled to collaborate and be a partner with you.
How many senior centers are there?
We own 4, and there's 2 that we contract with. So we have Mahaffey, Kylertown, Clearfield, Coalport, and then we contract with Houtsdale and DuBois.
Any other comments? Then I need a motion. Do you have a comment?
A long-term lease or a short-term?
3 years.
3 years.
3 years and are subject to renewal
Yep.
at that
Okay,
time.
because
Yes.
you were here at one time.
Years and years. I was not.
Well,
I
yeah,
was
I
about
know.
this big, probably.
I
But
remember when you
it
left
was
here.
here.
Yeah, then you went down there, but,
Yes.
okay, just so that you're,
We've pretty much outgrown the Glendale Medical
Right.
Center. In order, through COVID, it was very hard for us to have social distancing and being separate from each other. I think this is bigger. It's a very nice area, and again, the library's here, the museum's here. There's lots of different things that we can, Pam can do with our seniors.
you're saying what goes around comes around.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I did not know until we started this that the center was here.
Yeah.
Pam shared that with me, and so did Paul.
So you got everything from us right now that you need,
Yes.
right? You have everything, except we just have to complete the vote. here.
Yes.
Do that. So I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to enter into a lease agreement with the area agency on aging,
Okay?
for it to start immediately.
Yes, yes, and they can start renovations this month.
Yes.
And we kind of want that point in the minutes. How soon are you planning on getting started? Running out of time.
Hopefully
Tomorrow. Tonight you got
Our
down there after
maintenance
the
guy
meeting,
is,
yeah?
I'll tell you what, he's really good. So he has already
Hey, you know about-
brought Leather Lumber
about
up
Mike?
here, and Mike, yes.
Oh, yeah, he's a good guy.
He has already brought Leather Lumber up here to look at cabinets for the little kitchen area, flooring, all of that stuff. So we're very hopeful that nothing slows it down for the fact that maybe, hopefully it's not in the middle of the ocean, the things that we do.
Yes, I hope so not. We should be safe there, I think.
We're hopeful. So
Yeah,
we
earthquake or
want
accident.
to open it as soon as we can.
Okay. And you had something planned for like the 15th,
Pam
right? Is
has,
that right, Pam?
Because we're closed right at this time. They were so disappointed. This would have been the second Christmas that we were closed.
Oh.
And they just, when I announced we were closed, and there was
Are you going to
tears.
make it up here? Are you going to make something happen?
yep.
Yes,
Yes.
so I'm gonna have a Christmas party. I'll take care of everything, you don't
Okay.
have to worry about it.
And you have all the keys and access codes,
I-
everything you need to get in here?
I gave Mike my key, I had.
Okay, but, all right. You can have more made or do whatever
Yeah.
you need to do there,
And,
or what we have.
Yeah,
Okay, you got all that?
so
Okay.
we will be having like a little Christmas party, 3 to 1 on the 15th.
Oh,
And they were just excited that we could have that, so.
Okay, great. Let me
Yeah.
get the motion before I forget about it. Get away from us, or we'll leave it, it'll never happen. You started to make a motion, right? You make a motion, I have a second? Second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so we got that out of the way. All right, now we're down to a host of resignations, and all of this happened, Jerry, because we thought you wanted.
Thank you.
Good night, thank you all.
Thank you.
Have a good
If
time.
you need anything, you know where to find me.
You know where I'm at.
I'm going to read my resignation. There's an indelicate line in here, and I agonized over doing this, and I've never done anything like this in my life, but it's true, and I've thought about it, and I'm going to say this. Okay, please accept my resignation effective right after this meeting. I can't ask a lawyer, an accountant, a secretary, or anybody else to work for this borough, to work for a borough where Cheryl Spade is on as a council. We don't even want to work with him. We all would have resigned, is what would have happened there. I lost a auditor. They know his name. It takes me months to build a professional relationship with somebody. I've learned in 2019, Jerry can tear them down in minutes. I can't win that game. So life is too short. He's not going to be on, and one of the reasons, it's impossible for you to get 2 other people. You couldn't have a quorum. All right, but I'm going to move on. Furthermore, Sean and LaDawn are part of the team. If they are not on board, I'm not on board. Their services were absolutely vital. We accomplished a lot here, and it would not have happened if not for these 2 board members. John, Sean, and LaDawn, with the help of Mike and Mary Sue, would have kept the streak alive. They know how to generate revenue, obtain grants, resurface streets, outsource services, establish contacts, and a lot more. It's been an honor to work with all of you. Now, I wish the incoming council well, because if council succeeds, Coalport succeeds. So I'm sticking with that. I will be resigning. I need you guys to make a motion to accept that. Can't keep me prisoner here.
Question. This
Fire
is
away.
just the presidency or both?
I'm leaving council. I'm resigning from council. That means if I leave council, the presidency goes with it.
Thank you.
So I need a motion. And again, truly, it's an honor to work with all of you, and I did enjoy it.
I regretfully make a motion to accept your resignation.
Thank you, sir. You second that?
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Again, it was truly a pleasure. Okay, Mike, also, same reasons. Please accept a formal notice of my resignation from the position of supervisor effective December 6, 2021. I will continue to sign checks as needed until January 3rd, and hopefully of 2022. Hopefully we can maybe resolve that tonight.
I don't have a written letter.
I have it.
Oh, you
I just read it. Yes, so we'll just pass that on to you. Mike, I can't say enough kind words to you. You did a lot out there that just never, ever wouldn't have happened. I'm eternally grateful for
I
the work you
appreciate
did.
everybody working with me.
Well,
And,
we
you know, I think
certainly-
we did well with what we got done.
Yes, you're standing by this at this point?
Yep.
Okay, I I need a motion to accept Mike's letter of resignation as well. Reluctantly, somebody.
I regretfully accept Mike's resignation.
I second that.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you again, Mike.
Hey, Paul,
Appreciate it.
I'm trying to get a crew together to put the lights up and get the flags down on Saturday.
Okay.
So if anybody wants to help out, we're looking for some help to
You want some young
try to get it done.
volunteers?
Walt and I and Donnie Gabrielson can help, but we can't be up in the air. You know, we're too old.
So you want some younger people to help you out. So anybody watching this that's young,
He was gonna, Monday, since Saturday's hunt season, but Monday I told him I'd help me if you need help.
Saturday's gonna be nice.
no, you were first and I was second.
See what I
Dawn, yes.
But anyhow, we're gonna try to get the lights up Saturday.
Okay, now, you're looking for some young people and hopefully
Well,
somebody
anybody can help us out.
just show up, or how do you want to do this?
Well,
One time?
give me a call. My number's in the book.
Mike Delphos, call Mike Delphos, yeah. He's in the book, all right. Now, Mary Sue, I'm not
You
quite...
going to Bahamas or something? You tired? Did you do a vote?
Yeah, we did a vote for Mike. So we got me and Mike. So that takes us down to yours. I don't know where you stand here with your resignation.
Well, I'd like you to table it until the January meeting, 2022. I will say that you get somebody, I don't need you. But if for some reason that Gerald Spade gets on, you'll get my resignation immediately. Otherwise, I'll stay until, I want you to, I told you the other night work session, I want you to get started with advertising.
All right, so no motion required here, nothing
Let's
required.
table, you have to make a motion to table.
All right, you want to do that?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we table this issue until the next meeting.
Need a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Okay. Now we're done. I'm not quite sure what we want to do here about updating account signatures. Mike will be gone at the end of the month, so you could deal with that tonight.
You can write our vacation checks, can we write?
Yeah. You have time to the first of the year to
Okay,
get,
but you want to go down there in advance of that, right, and get your...
well, whatever, so
All right.
well, it gives you enough time to get it done. I didn't want to do it tonight and then you didn't have nobody sign the checks.
Yeah, right, we don't want to be in that
Yeah.
situation, but I thought if we could get two people and go down and make those changes, not going to happen tonight. All right, so now we're down to, are we done with that? We're not going to do anything with the account signatures, not going to do anything there.
Okay.
So now you can either appoint a new president or, there's only 25 days left. Or Kevin, somebody, the only thing you need a president for, if there's some signature, something required, there'll be no more meetings, nothing like that, but so you could require somebody's signature.
In case we have an emergency.
Yeah, so it would probably be a good idea to appoint a president just so you have one. Sean?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we appoint Sean Mabling as the new president of council.
You want to second that?
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye? You get to vote on that as well. Okay. Is that okay with you? We just kind of drafted you right into that. You didn't have much to say about it, did you? Congratulations. All right, now that takes us down to that we want to give Christmas bonuses to this staff. This is a rather extraordinary year. We would not have made it through this year if not for Mike and Mary Sue working here with no salary. They both did volunteer work. Mike lost money every single time he came to town. He used his own equipment, his own fuel. We approved that you were to get a tank full of gas in your truck. You never did that.
I don't want it. I don't want it. And I want you to know, I don't want nothing for Christmas. Anything you want to give me, you donate it back to Coalport Borough.
Are you sure
And I
about
mean
that?
it. Yeah, I do not want anything. If you make a donation toward me, put it back in the borough coffers and do something with it on the street lights or the park, whatever you feel you need to do.
Mike, we can't thank you enough. You know,
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Paul, and I plan on helping out some next summer again too.
Okay.
When they're ready and they need
Keep
some
that in
help.
mind. So if you do the alleys or whatever,
Yeah, I plan on helping you guys out. I just don't have the time to do everything that needs done right now.
Well,
But this
anyway,
summer, I'm hoping I can be part of helping you guys along.
thank you, Mike. It's appreciated.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys offering a gift there, but I don't want it. I didn't do any of this for anything. I didn't want nothing. I just wanted to see you guys.
Well, I
Stick
believe
together
we
and
made
get
it
stuff
through
done.
here. I'm not sure. I didn't look at the bank account before we came in. I don't know if the $9,000 came back from the county or not. I haven't looked at that.
I wish Andy well too.
I did too, yes. Thanks you, by the way, taking the position. You'll be an asset to the board here, I'm quite sure. You will be. It's a tough job. Appreciate it. Well, we need to still, even Walt, who took a salary, did more than what he was required. He also donates a lot of free time to the borough. Mary Sue's time was all free. I would like to give them, do something nice for this staff if we can do it. Anybody have a motion? I need a motion. Come up with an amount.
I make the motion that we give each of the employees a $500 Christmas bonus.
Need a second on that.
I second that.
All in,
Well deserved.
yeah. All in favor? Aye. And again, that is a pittance compared to what we received from these people. It's an absolute pittance. And Mary Sue, thank you for putting in the time. Appreciate it. Appreciate your help. We'd never, would have been in trouble if we had to pay those salaries. We would not have made it. We cut everything we could possibly cut. We cut everything. And we're right down to the bone here. That is, Joe, did you have anything?
Yeah.
Go ahead, fire away.
In the borough's history of 138 years, you set the bar very high. You're the only man that I ever knew that resigned from council three times. Three times.
That's right.
And
It would almost be four.
I don't know whether this brings up the old phrase is, if a man can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. I don't know. I don't know what if you vented on one person for doing this, I don't know, Paul. After this is said,
Well, number one, they asked me to come and do this.
Yeah.
I very reluctantly took the job. And I told you, whenever I came here the first meeting, I said I questioned my own sanity for doing that. But my feeling was this. They had all those back taxes. They have lost liquid fuels. And I said to myself, if you don't do this, who else can and who else will in Coalport? I couldn't come up with one name. I couldn't bear the thought of Coalport losing liquid fuels. We recovered that. That's how we were able to do, and that was that we were going to lose 30,000 every single year going forward until that was fixed. We fixed that. We did in 2.5 weeks what the previous council couldn't do in 2.5 years. So we restored that liquid fuels money. We put in a hell of a lot of time. I was putting in more than 40 hours a week. I'm sick of Coalport Borough, to be honest with you. I didn't retire to do this. This was harder. If I started businesses from scratch. It's easier than trying to fix something that is just rotten everywhere you look. Nothing works here. Nothing. Now, we've made a lot of progress, but this place is not okay. They're going to have another very difficult year ahead of them. One, they're going to have to find a bookkeeper, and you can't just pull somebody off the street and expect this to work. As you can see, this is very, very complicated. We're trying to get somebody from another municipality that just can come right in here and do the job. That is easier said than done. All of this stuff is incredibly time-consuming. It's easy to say that we want to just get somebody from another community, but you got to get on the phone, you got to talk to them, you got to interview them, you got to try to convince them to come here. It sucks up a lot of time and energy. The same with the bookkeeper. I have to get to know that bookkeeper, all of this stuff. I go back and forth to try to get the books where I want them. We're still not there. It takes a lot of time, not only from me, but from everybody here. Nobody knows the amount of time that we came up here and spent going through files, trying to get stuff ready just for the bookkeeper. So I took the job. I had some idea what I was going to be in for because I was here in 2018. And I quit in 2019, again, because Jerry here was, you know him, he drove off a solicitor, and I had a really good relationship within minutes. He drove off a bookkeeper that took me, Catherine, it took me months to get to know her. He can tear things down like that. I'm not going to work under those circumstances. I don't need that. But we accomplished probably 80% of what we set out to do. We got the liquid fuels restored. I believe we have the IRS off of our back. I think if that is not done, there are 4 quarters left in 2018, which I believe we did. I thought you sent them in. We're thinking they're behind. Those were, any one of those things to do in a year's time, just one, is incredibly difficult. We knocked them both out. So we got the state straightened out, we got the feds straightened out. We fixed, go ahead.
Everybody knows. I'm just, no, you
Oh.
finished, didn't you?
Even things, it's like that
But I'd like to
sinkhole.
say something.
That sinkhole that was there for a decade. We fixed it in a couple of days. He called DEP on his own council.
Calvin and I called about
No, he didn't. I'm talking after I got on board here. You called and tried
Never
to cause
called
trouble.
DEP.
Yes, you did.
No, I
And they
didn't.
told you what they did. They sent you a copy of the law. I find these things out, Jerry, easily enough.
No.
But go ahead. What's your comment?
You alluded to the fact that there is no bookkeeper. Is that what you're saying? That the
No, I said we were
Mr. Strong
supposed.
quit?
No, he didn't. I had an
Okay.
auditor lined up to do his work. When he thinks you're here, he won't do it.
Is the auditor not going to do the work?
Maybe he will. Now, once he finds out for sure if you're the tax collector, we may be able to get that auditor back. I don't know that for sure, and it'll be up to somebody else.
I'm still not clear on, is Mr. Strong
Yes,
still
he's
the
not the
bookkeeper?
auditor. Yes, he's the bookkeeper as far as I know.
Is he the auditor also?
No, he can't audit his own books. You can't do that. He's the auditor for
So you
2019 and
haven't
20.
approved any auditor?
No, you know we haven't. You're here at every meeting. You would have heard it. It should have been done
I was
tonight.
clear that you had the auditor.
We had, past tense, but when people see your name, they don't want anything to do with this place. So I have to tell people in advance, if you call them, I had to tell this, I say, you work for me. You do not even read a correspondence that comes from Gerald Spade. You damn near drove off Catalano and Catalano. She sat here, you
I just
sent
asked
her
them a
right
question. I asked them,
Yeah,
you
you
know that there
interrupted.
was
She thought, what the hell's this?
there
Do I
wasn't
need a
an
lawyer?
ordinance.
There's something else she
There
shouldn't
wasn't
do.
an ordinance.
There was an ordinance, they didn't do it properly, but you can't go back in time and fix things. There wasn't an ordinance that was put into the codified ordinance.
That's
They did an
correct.
ordinance that was outside of it, it was done incorrectly.
Thank you for telling the truth.
Well, I don't lie, unlike some people that I know. I'll make you a deal, Jerry. If you quit telling lies about me, I'll stop telling the truth about you. Yeah. Sorry to get me all wound up here on this, but
It's easy.
this guy causes a lot of
I
trouble.
have
Go
something
ahead.
to say kind of along that line. You talk about going back, and I know we're not supposed to do that, but I'm going to link it with going forward. One of the biggest mistakes the previous council people has made was to hire a young girl who knew absolutely nothing about what she was walking into. The only reason I volunteer is because I've worked with the council over the years. Some of my best friends have worked, so I was kind of familiar with what, Pliget and some of these things were both those girls who came in off the street knew nothing. Yeah, they could run a computer a lot better than I can, but they knew nothing, and they were afraid to ask. They were given the opportunity. The one was hired, and I was here the night she was hired, that she was to go to school and learn these things. She never went. Nobody made her go. So then we had all this mess in here that I'm still, if you look in there, I'm still trying to clean it up. It's been a long time. I've been here since April. That means I have to do my daily stuff, which I'm behind in some of that, keep the records, do the phone calls. It's just, and all those stacks in there are from the years past where I'm trying, it's kind of my personal goal before I get out of here to clean that up. So that somebody can walk in, pull open a drawer, and it's filed A, B, C, D, E, F, G, which it was not before. It was just wherever you found something.
Well, the bigger problem is the computer. It's like the file system, and that is your file system today. That has to be organized. And that's a nightmare, too. If you come down here and just want to get onto the computer, look at the bank account, before you can do that, you might have to fix a bunch of passwords.
Yeah.
What should take minutes turns into hours. So, again, it's just plain hard. I've had enough.
They're going to have to hire somebody
they
who
know.
at least knows, something,
Yes.
and pay them something, not
Yes,
minimum wage.
and we said that we were going to start 15, we're going to something like 13, 15 or whatever.
Well, 8 years ago, Walt started out, minimum wage. That's all they wanted to pay. I can remember people sitting here and arguing with Jack Root. Would you work for that kind of money? You can't pay people this and expect to.
My bookkeeper made 40 years ago. She made more than the bookkeeper did when they were getting $8 an hour here. Just recently, not too many years ago.
You mean the secretary?
Yeah, well, bookkeeper. They were doing the bookkeeping as well. Again, now my woman had a degree in accounting, but still, she was making more 40 years ago than somebody was today.
I don't know the problem I have, and I've watched the meetings and whatever. But there's been certain individuals continually bash the past counselors. Those past counselors were people of integrity. They done the best they could. They done the best with monies that they could. But you guys just continue.
Well, it's mostly
You
me.
just did it there now.
Yes, and I'll tell
And that's
you what.
not
It's the
acceptable.
truth, Joe.
That is not acceptable.
I don't
Well,
care
I'm
if it's
sure you don't
acceptable.
want
I'm
it.
telling you, this is what happens, and we have to look to the future and make sure it doesn't happen. And you people did have integrity to a point until that stuff happened with Donna. And then some of you guys, so don't even get me started. I've seen the stuff. In fact, just a few days ago, I went through, that stuff's all here from Donna's case. I saw who was signing the checks.
And they was all legitimate.
No, they couldn't have been legitimate. No.
Yes, they were.
All right, now,
Any check that ever come across for my signature
I'm gonna give
was
you-
legitimate.
Okay, the terms back then, what were her hours per week?
About the same as what,
Okay, that's right, it was about 10 hours. She
Yeah.
roughly got 10 hours a week at $8 an hour. That would
Probably,
be $80 a week, $160 a pay period. Sometimes she was paid $200, $300, and $400. You guys paid her child support. Not took it out of her pay. Now, that is not a legitimate borough expense.
They
Somebody
made
should
right out
have
that county where she paid.
well,
pay that back.
we could talk, that issue's been done.
It's been
We
done,
could
but it was
argue
lost,
this-
and there was
We could argue this.
signatures on that.
But you're saying why we criticize you, that's why. Not one road was resurfaced in 30 years. Why?
Do you
Joe,
realize,
why?
how long that you have to do something and you see somebody doing it wrong, that you just don't pull the trigger right now?
You had 30 years, is what I'm saying. You didn't
30
resurface
years, you wasn't
one
here 30
street.
years.
Well, where's the streets that you resurfaced? You didn't resurface any.
They did.
Where are they? As near
Pine
as,
Street was,
in what
was
year?
done in,
What year?
in the 90s.
In the 90s. How many years is that?
Over 20 years.
About 20 years.
It's
No,
more
no,
than 20. This
it-
is
it
over
was-
30 years.
It was the end of the 90s.
It's 19, as far as I could tell, the last was 1994. But the point is, where did the money go? It didn't go into the streets. We actually do stuff here. We put money, we plow the money back in. And that's what, we have the highest millage, second highest in the county.
Absolutely.
What do we get for it? What are we getting for that millage? Right next to us, there are 4 mills. Now just think of that we pay 7 times the amount of real estate tax as Beccaria Township. What are we getting for that 7 times? We certainly aren't getting resurfaced streets. It makes no sense.
Well, look how it was before the streetscape went in.
And even that happened in spite of council, not because of council. So we have a lot to criticize council, and there's corruption
You're
here,
wrong.
Joe.
Okay.
You're
Well,
absolutely.
all right, I'll let it go then.
That's
All right, enough said. Too much said, probably.
Maybe you'll be able to say that about us someday.
Maybe they will.
You, no, I know you're a volunteer. Thank God you're a volunteer. What are you qualified?
No.
I've said
But
that.
what
Well,
do you
she
say?
got a lot more done this year than anybody else has in the past.
Let's see the proof. I have a right to know.
Well, look at
appeal
the
coming
road.
out.
Yeah, that's
She's
probably
been on
the
the-
right to know.
she's
She's
been
not
on-
even registered
But
with
she's-
Harrisburg.
But that's just like
The
anybody that was
purpose
supposed to
is-
come, they were supposed to take seminars, they were supposed to take classes. She was only temporary here. We're talking about people that's been here for years though. But look how much we've already accomplished with her help. In the past, how many months compared to anybody? I'm just
8
saying,
months.
8 months, we've gotten a lot done. We have.
And they have money next year, if it's the same council, there's money to resurface another street out there. You should have between 50 and 60,000. That sounds
And these
about
guys
right.
have worked well with the state in learning all this stuff that they have to do for that.
I didn't have any experience, but I've learned on the way. That's how you learn. You
Well,
learn
well,
by doing
I
things. You
appreciate
learn by
the budget
doing
you
the
have, but how
seminars,
did
and
you-
you learn by doing all this other stuff.
We'll ask the question that Mr. Zubich asked. Which one of the line items for last year's budget have you exceeded or that you have a surplus? Can you tell me what that is? How in the world did you create this budget if you didn't know what last year's budget did in
Well,
relationship?
because-
Again,
From
when you're brought
the
into a
straw.
mess, again, when you're brought into a mess and you're looking at last year's and you're looking at, like I said, it's a learning process. I can't learn it overnight.
We didn't have a finance report.
No, we didn't.
We had no finance report
I
to
know.
go from.
And I've
But
wanted
you
to
were on
see,
that board. You were on that board and
I
allowed
was
that
in
to happen.
2019.
Right, there was no finance report there. It was one of the reasons
Yes,
I
it
left.
was.
It wasn't worth a damn.
And I worked out a budget matrix.
And I came down and I told you, you put stuff in there like liquid fuels that you weren't going to get. It was in that budget. And I came to that meeting and I said, how are
Only
you putting
what they
this in here?
told us that we would receive.
No, they didn't tell you. They
Yes,
told
they
you
did.
nothing. Like Sherry got
I
lied
have a
by.
docket of what I do.
Yes, go, you prove that one.
Yeah.
That's why I
can
haven't
prove it.
come here and get liquid fuels
You're
because you were
you're
denied it.
making assertions and allegations.
There were no
And
assertions.
you have no foundation to any of it.
Were we getting liquid fuels before I got here?
There's an
Yeah,
appeal
we
here, and Miss Morrissey is the agent for this borough who has to litigate the appeal in Harrisburg. And your 30 days is almost up from the 16th.
Well, what we'll do, if they tell us to give you something, we'll give it to you. Other than that, we're not too worried about it.
Well, it'll be
You know,
done.
again,
You
what-
won't even be here.
Right, I won't be here. That's part of, I wasn't gonna let you derail me with your nonsense. We stayed
It is the
course,
law.
And you abuse the law.
Who is G-R or G-E-R-R-Y? Who is that?
That's you.
That's not my name.
Where, I know you're the Reverend, not just
That is-
Reverend.
It's not my name. That is not my
Anyway,
name.
enough nonsense,
well,
enough, yeah,
you're
enough
wasting your
nonsense.
time.
I know. Yes, I know. My bad, my apologies. Sorry, Andy.
It's only my second meeting, and I tell you what, it's just a bunch of
We haven't done
bullshit
this
going on here.
We haven't done this for 8 months?
Yeah, it's my bad, I got sucked into this. Let's make a motion to adjourn.
Wait a minute, so I check this here.
Before we adjourn, are we still sort of friends, Paul?
Yes, I don't take this stuff personally.
When we leave,
Personally.
it's
For
there
me, it
table.
is.
Thank you.
For
What,
me, I don't take it personally.
The note from Walt.
I don't have a note from Alt that I see.
Yes, it laid by your papers.
Oh, this? Ask council if I can buy anti-skid off of Beccaria I thought we resolved this issue too. We've already dealt with this. He can buy anti-skid. Right, Mike?
Mike?
Is there no problem with buying anti-skid from Bacarium?
No, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they'll work with us and that way we don't have to buy a triaxle at one time.
I thought we dealt with that at some point. But yeah.
No,
Did you and I deal with that?
Yeah, well, Walt and I was gonna go to the meeting. I told him I'd go to the meeting on Tuesday. Or,
Okay.
yeah, tomorrow night we're gonna go to the meeting. And we're gonna see what they have to say. I told him I'd help them out with that.
Yeah,
So
'cause
we'll go up tomorrow and
I
talk.
guess Mr. Neubauer didn't know if they were allowed to sell it.
I think they can sell it to another municipality and we can reimburse their liquid fuel with a check from our liquid fuel. You know what I mean? And they'll put it right in their liquid fuel and I can't see what that's gonna hurt. I'll call Sean tomorrow.
Well, I called today, a woman said, you know, we can't tell you where to spend, or I forget what she said, but I forget how she said it. But Tom wanted to look into it, make sure it was above board.
It's a proof stone, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
So on the second Tuesday of January, we don't have an auditor? Is that what you're saying? Thank you.
Another thing, I've heard mentioned that Walt is working without being paid.
No.
Is he paid now?
Yes,
Okay.
but he puts in hours in addition to what he's compensated for. So he gets paid for 20 hours. He'll put in more than 20
He
hours.
is getting.
He's getting paid for 20 hours.
I mean, he is getting paid.
Yes. He's been the only employee to get paid, actually, throughout this whole period.
Well, he didn't for a while.
Yeah, he didn't for a while.
That seemed to be a concern.
2 or 3 months, I think it was.
Yeah, he wasn't paid for several months until we got rich up doing payroll. We had nobody that could do payroll here. And that's how we got into that mess, by people doing payroll that didn't know how to do payroll. But he's all caught up, right? Walt is,
Oh, that was a long time ago.
Yeah,
That was
an
like
April.
the summer or something.
Yeah.
It was that and what Walt said in the other note. You're not reading the notes on
No, I
it,
don't.
you?
To the Borough Council, you advertised for a maintenance worker. Oh, we didn't see this. I guess we better not adjourn here.
Well, you can't vote on it tonight, but he wanted you to know.
All right, says, would you advertise for a maintenance worker? I will stay on to help him for a while. So he's thinking of leaving, is what he's saying.
Yes.
And he didn't put a definite date on it. So Borough Council, as you can see, has its work cut out for it. And all this stuff is very time consuming. You know, you have to write up an ad, put it in the paper, put it in the paper, respond, interview people. It's real easy to say these things. It's real difficult to carry these things out. So you got to advertise for a bookkeeper or a secretary, a maintenance worker, a auditor.
Why do you keep saying bookkeeper?
Well, secretary, yeah. Yeah, it used to be bookkeeper. Rich will, hopefully that will be smooth, but still somebody will have to correspond with Rich at the beginning of the year. It's real difficult for an accountant to come in the middle of the year and straighten things out, so he'll get a fresh start in January, and we're hoping then by February we will get a good finance report. He has given us a finance report that did not work, and the reason I went through this at one other meeting, he took, this gets real kind of goofy. You're not going to understand all this, Andy, but we have to meet DCED requirements, and they have every line item of our budget, the light bill, the water bill, the staff, there's a number. They call it a chart of account number. And so that there's a special number for the light bill for every single line item. Well, what the bookkeeper did, and this perfectly made sense, there's hundreds of these, for income and expenditures. And they're think like big municipalities or big boroughs, something like Altoona, where you have a highway department, a water department, a police department. You know, so what happened here, and the secretary was to type all them in, and she did that. But what she did,
Not me.
not this previous secretaries. So the accountant, rather than have his staff type every one of these into his QuickBooks program, he just copied them off of here and transferred them to his computer. Well, what happened there, unbeknownst to him or us, those secretaries, for some peculiar reason, changed some of them, changed those numbers. And it was all in the tax area, and so that whacked off the entire bookkeeping. It showed up like that we received no per capita tax. It said 0 in that category. Well, I knew darn well we did. I knew we got that. I knew that was wrong. So that, again, that was a setback. He did something that made perfect sense, but you have no way of knowing that people altered the product.
Right.
So that set us back. So hence, all this year there have been no finance reports, which is the most difficult way in the world to run a business. When you can't see, if you know, say for your light bill, if you budget $10,000 and you're halfway through the year, you don't know. You know, are we over budget, under budget, how we're doing? So we had nothing to look at throughout that whole time. So hopefully next year, and you'll probably be stuck dealing with this somewhat, you'll have to go to the bookkeeper, and you got to make sure in February you should get a brand new, a good workable finance report that you can use. And we didn't have that for 2018. So you can see what you're getting into here. It's not going to be a picnic. It's not going to be. There's
Yes, but I'll learn.
Yeah, there's another good years of hard work left here, and that's the key. The bookkeeping is the key to the whole thing. If that doesn't work, nothing can work.
Right.
So you have to. Now again, we have a CPA. You have a guy that really knows what he's doing here. It's just a matter of having him give us what we need, what you can use here to see how you're doing.
Give you something to study.
And again, I apologize for the rant. Forgive me.
All right.
Be glad to get rid of me. I'll be glad to go. Do we have anything else?
I'm not sure what you want to know. I got a hold of Edgar Snyder. They do not do bond claims.
Do not.
That was on the air.
That
They
might
have employment law, but they don't handle bond claims.
Oh, okay, that may just answer the question. So as a new president, you might just sign that document, take the $1,300 and be done with it.
Or,
Well, I mean, if you want to find another attorney who does handle, but I think that you'll have a hard time with that one if they don't, because it's insurance related, and that's what he specializes in.
Yeah.
But you could probably find somebody out there. It depends how much running around you want to do. There's a point of diminishing returns here.
Yeah.
So you guys know, I mean, you can discuss that here. Or,
If you lose,
Wait.
you pay all the money just to lose.
Yes.
What are you wrong?
Well, I wouldn't do anything unless they took it on a contingent fee basis, which means, and he always says that, you don't pay anything unless I get money for you, or he has some type of clause like that. So it wouldn't cost, they won't take it unless they know they're going to get money.
Did you file with the bond company charges?
No, there are no charges. We're not charging. All we're trying to do is make an insurance claim. That's all we tried to do. And the insurance company didn't see things the same way that we did. They don't like to pay out. So then it comes down to, do you want to accept $1,300, or do you want to go to an attorney and try to get more?
So you did get $1,300?
Yes.
Well, it's offered if we
Yes, if we
don't
sign.
receive or sign.
Yeah, insurance companies will do that all the time. You know what I mean? Sign off and you get
plea
this.
bargain. Yeah.
Yes, and they often say, don't sign anything until you see an attorney. And the other thing, I'm not for pursuing this too vigorously, again, because these women, they were given no training, supervision, or they didn't know what they were doing. It's not exactly right. Plus, she's 20-some years old. You could make a $40,000 case if you really wanted to. And I don't know that that's morally the right thing to do. So I guess you guys will have to either take that, finish that at this meeting right now before we adjourn, because we brought this up before and we tabled it, did we not? We were to bring it up So you would have to decide if you want to sign that 13.
Well, you can't vote on that.
No, didn't put, so you gotta wait until,
January.
yeah, or, yeah. So it's, I guess you have to put that issue's been tabled until January. So put that on your agenda. But anyway, thanks for doing that. And again, that's just further evidence. That took you your time, right? You had to go over on your lunch hour or something, or call them. Or...
Yeah, I called them, and I explained to her what she, you know, what we were looking at, and she said, they don't need a respect claim. That's like the case.
Okay. All right, well, that ends that.
Pay the bills from
Okay, we need a motion to keep the borough running.
a motion to pay the bills for the, keep the borough running.
Need a second.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is that it? With anything else? Need a motion to adjourn.
A motion to adjourn.
Need a second.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. We're done? You made it?
Changes on the front page, and I don't see anybody. Don't need a key.
You give these to Mary Sue.
Yeah.
I need that.
Jamie and,
Yeah, I sent you one.
we turned to your seat. That's how we might say it.
No, excuse me.
Jamie was, and he gave it to Jamie. I had no say in it, I had no.